Let's start with what we talked about to begin with that. This is my copy of the last video we sent to you. Let me just watch how that comes right down on that plath. Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is kind of a point to also talk about what happens. We're giving you a good grade of that, but when you see that impact, bragging about the swing plane, I want you to see what I'm talking about with the footwork. You can actually see it from back here too. See how flat your back foot is?
My back foot.
Yeah,
right?
your back foot's on the ground and your hips are still looking at the ball. Okay. Now when we do that correction drill we were doing today to get the feeling of swinging without the ball, I get another one here. I thought I took some with you. See, now this is perfect. This is kind of you right here. All right, now what we see how your upper body all coiled up nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at your legs.
Look at
There's nothing. Yeah, so see how you unhinge it?
Yeah.
Early? So basically what you're doing, your legs have just basically gone totally stable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you had a little bit of hip turn on the backswing, which is fine. Here I'd give you a good grade. Pretty good shoulder turn.
Right.
About half as much of a hip
Looking
turn.
over the shoulder.
Yeah, looks good. And then here's what I was demonstrating outside, how the intuitiveness of different skill levels of golfers unleashes that club down into the back of the ball. And it's always fun to put up these pain in the butt tour guys who are so brilliant at it. I think I've used this guy before with you even. Alright, Joe Amateur on the right, Stud on the left. PGA Stud, right? So here's just your different skill levels. Look at how the knees are moving, just like you were doing with your rehearsals without a ball. So by the time they're at impact, and of course we're not going to judge their standards to ours,
Mm-hmm.
right? But what you'll see here on the right is your uncoiling intuitiveness, if you will. Joe Amateur on the right. Now, anything going on down below right now. So you're connecting with your instincts to hit a golf ball actually through your hands and your upper body, which are dominant in your thinking and your skill set and your instincts, right? So you're uncoiling the shoulders, unhinging the wrist joints to basically, in the world of Mike, I'm just hitting the ball,
Mm-hmm.
right? So your hips are actually still turned to the right a little bit.
Yeah.
So they're just now getting back to the ball square, but now you've done all the speed that you can muster with your arms and the uncoiling of your upper body has occurred. You can see how the shaft bends, right? It means that club's kicking back into the ball because the shaft has whip to it.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we call the unhinging of the wrist joints has come up quite early, right? So you see your hands. Now the club's going to go right by the hands here. And the hands are going to be well behind the ball, and the club's going to be in front.
Right.
Right?
Right.
All right, now what you're going to see him do, his club's going to be way back here when his hands are over his right knee like you. See that?
Yep.
That's what we call lag. That's kind of the magic. It's the magic term. Lag versus cast. Okay? So those who have better lag and compress the ball better, you'll see here, and again, we're not going to put our standards anywhere near him,
I know.
but I think it continues to be a good image for you.
Really
See this
is.
arm
Oh, yeah.
and that. So you've heard the term, make sure we got the hands ahead of the ball at impact.
Mm-hmm.
Chipping is where you hear it a lot, but the same thing happens in full swings. So here's Joe Amateur on the right, and you revisit our old videos. You know, same deal, different day, right? But sometimes we keep talking about it in different ways and explain things differently. Keep seeing those images. So now your next frame, the club's going to get further ahead of your hands, right? So now you're increasing that loft. If you do hit it square, you hit it high, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not an 8-iron anymore.
Right.
It's like a wedge, isn't it? So basically, if we just took half of your body right here, put it right in the middle of you, we'd see most of your body behind that line,
Right.
and we'd see most of his body in front of it.
Right.
So he's got all that energy going into the ball and all that lag. So the breakdown to getting better with all that is kind of got a couple different parts to it, doesn't it?
Yep.
And neither one of them is what we call easy, because all this happens so fast, and golf is so intuitive with us, right? If we watch the back view, and watch this on a different story now. The swing path of the club, which is something we're working hard at. When that club gets dropped inside like that, watch how this club's going to lag differently. See how the club's way behind the
Right.
hands, right? Now there's no ball there because you're taking a practice swing,
Right.
but we'll see the difference between that and a ball swing from behind. This is the practice one. Okay, now we're changing now the ball's there, right?
Right. The ugly ball.
The damn ball, as we say, right? And if we look at the two different points where the hands go, we'll see your hands are at about the same level. One more. I'll do one more. Okay. So your hands are about the same spot here,
Mm-hmm.
relatively speaking. And the club is lower and more outside. So there's that little uncoiling hinge. Look at how that thing's coming right back on that line. Isn't that beautiful?
Yep.
It's coming underneath it. It's good. Okay, so back to swing plane. Two categories: swing plane and body movement.
Mhm.
Right. Well, let's do something in your setup to help you. I want those hands to be right there at impact. Correct?
Takeaway too.
When we hit it, moment of impact.
Yeah.
I want the hands not to be back here.
Right.
I don't want your foot to be on the ground. But let's just talk about the hands and the arms. So let's do something in the setup here to give you a chance. Let's cheat, right? I want your hands to be here in your setup.
Right.
I want you to de-loft that club that way in your setup
From the get-go.
from the get-go. Okay, so moment of truth here. Be nice for me to say, hey, just don't unhinge it so soon. I can't do that. It's intuitive in you. I can't. I know it won't work. Just go Just hang on, Mike. Don't release it until you get to the bottom. It's not that simple, right? So we got to find some other ways that create lag. Well, we got to get our body moving. So then the club doesn't get thrown with our hands; it just gets dropped. Following this, we got to have a different leader on the downswing.
The hips.
Correct. The lower body's got to pull things through. So again, just different ways of saying the same thing. So we got the same two issues, and if we make the modest amount of improvement over time, I don't care what percentage you throw into it, 10%, 20%. Then, if those points get in a sequential way better over time, your ball striking improves. It's pretty plain to see. Hard to do.
For me, it is.
Well, for everyone it is. I mean, this is a common discussion
Not the
with
only
amateur players. God, no. And the swing bottom for people hitting ball off the ground, their ability to do that, their skill set, ultimately defines what their handicap is.
Sure.
Right? So when they don't have that skill set, they struggle with mishits. Now they can make up for it maybe off the tee and great short game, but we all arrive to our handicap in different ways. So, all right, so there's more visual.